Okay, another very physical practice today. I thought the players responded really well to the challenge of putting together another physical practice, getting after each other, worked extremely hard, conditioning afterwards, so it's good to see. A concern always in a game like this is your players not understanding how good the other team is. This is a really good team with a great quarterback, great offense, defense, and special teams, so that's why they've won a lot of games. You look at this year and last year, these guys play really good and they're really hard to beat. In the games they lose, a lot of times they outgain the other team and barely lose in the fourth quarter versus some big teams. So we're going to have our hands full and a very big challenge for us.
How do you get that message through when not everyone, but people on the outside, family, friends, don't see it that way? They don't look at it that closely. They just see the name Utah State.
Yeah, I know, like when people say, hey, get ready for your big game next week when they walk by you. We show them. We show them how good these guys are on film. We showed them scores of other games, scoreboard from Madison last year in the fourth quarter. And then they see it on film as they're watching. They see great players, guys that play their tails off. This is not just some overachieving guys. This is a very talented group of players. And you watch the way that these ends rush and the way that they play. The freshman All-American last year, I don't know how you play better as a freshman than he did.
Can you talk about what Clancy's meant to the defense? I mean, I'm sure you talked to a ton of coaches for that job. Tell me what is about him and his scheme that will work so well for you?
Well, I think going through the long process that we did to make sure that we got it right. Talked to a lot of people, pro, college, conference, non-conference, SEC, Big Ten, all those things, and just meeting with him, his presentation of the plan for the different styles of offense in this conference was very unique. He has a very specific plan when he plays certain styles of offense and different plans for the different ones, and that's so critical nowadays in college football, but especially in our conference. This is a very difficult conference, and it changes on you every week what you're seeing. So I think he's done an unbelievable job, to play the way that we played and really hardly giving up any points through 3 games. It's been great. We've got another big challenge this week coming up. But I don't know how you could do much better. And he's had some injuries over there early on, and obviously for obvious reasons, a lot of depth issues.
The way that side of the ball is played, I mean, did you expect them to be that good? I mean, and how would you compare them to when you were an assistant here and you had those 2 teams?
Well, I think in general, what we set out to do in January is taking place right now. Through 3 games. I believe we're a physical team. We're hard to run the ball against. We run the ball well on offense, and keep the ball in front of us also on defense. And we're very aggressive, and our players play really hard. And as we mentioned before, we had 1 screw up in 1 game with 1 aspect of our team. Other than that, this is really exactly where we set out to be.
Have you been tracking at all Bo Pelini's situation in Nebraska? And what do you think of that, and how does that kind of frame how you kind of have to conduct yourself as a head coach in the public eye?
Well, that's a lot of questions. Yeah. I hadn't really followed it, just kind of heard from one of our coaches who knew him, so I hadn't followed it very closely, but I don't need those reminders. I live in that world every minute of every day around here, and when you take a job like this, you understand that.
George Hugo has been another player that's been in the spotlight now, ranked nationally 13 for sacks. I mean, did you imagine him coming out the season playing like that?
We did. Thought that he finished the year really strong last year. Thought he was great when he was a redshirt, on our service team down there playing and going against him every day. So he's a really special player, and he's playing at a really high level right now.
This team reminds you, Utah State, of anybody that you're going to play or that you have played, the way they will attack you either side of the ball?
I guess the closest thing would be Oregon as far as how they can hurt you in all aspects. They run the ball really well. The guy throws the ball really well, and then he takes off and runs it. So I guess that would be the closest. It's a little bit different style, but at the same time, they're really explosive, and they got really good players around them too, really good receivers, a very veteran offensive line that returns 5 starters. this is a top 25 team in the country, no doubt.
Well, you always say winning solves a lot of problems. This week, obviously, after coming off the win, practice, everything just seemed a lot smoother, a lot calmer around here.
Well, yeah, that just goes with the territory, But we can't, we can't that's why we don't. That doesn't change how we prepare, whether we win or lose. We prepare the same way every week. Had very physical practices this week, just like we did the week before. So, it's a process, and unfortunately, every game doesn't go your way. Not many people win every one of them. You got to stay with the process, continue to work, and our players have done that.
As well as your defense is playing, are you kind of looking forward to see how they handle this team, see where they really are?
Well, I'm not really looking forward to watching this guy run around all day long. He's a great player. We're going to have to play really great. And, like Gary kind of mentioned, I don't think people around here have any clue how good this team really is. And look no further than, Wisconsin went to the Rose Bowl last year, and they had them beat easy and really should have won the Utah game as well. And, and you're looking at an undefeated team in here, ranked probably 15th.